Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to the show. Because I'm doing well because I'm having a wonderful day. Is that too loud? This feel like it's too loud. Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to another video, welcome to another mukbang. Usually when I do a mukbang I have subject. Today is a non-subject, today is exciting. We are eating, okay, I do have it. Kimchi, Nongshim kimchi ramen, which are phenomenal. We had a little bit of a piece of cheese because they're spicy. They're a bit spicy. So today the subject, I had a subject planned out, right? And the reason why we're wearing a hat is my hairs are becoming long, and you can see how it looks. It's hard to take care of. Mostly they're to listen to music. Can you tell me I'm listening to music? No? So can't my boss, right? Today we made a video and I started getting very, very emotional. And I almost teared up. And when I say almost, you can see the video. Yes, I teared up. And, you can see I'm much calmer. I'm much more, I wouldn't say balanced, but still. Now, it's kind of amazing because I think I needed that emotion. No, it wasn't planned, you know? And it's gonna be a long subject. It's gonna be a long video today, so sit down, enjoy. We're gonna have a good time together. We're gonna have a good talk together. So, so if I'm eating, but I was hungry. We're tasting those, right? And I was thinking about how much it meant to me when I was a kid, right? I took a little piece of cheese I'm gonna pick up later. I'm gonna finish the cheese right away because the cheese is too good. Marble things, marble cake, marble cheese are amazing. I'm watching a movie, we're watching Drifter movie, we're playing a game, we're playing the Google Breaker of Chain. If you're a content creator, right, and you're not you're not filming at the same time to watch a movie, playing a game, then you can actually do more with your time. Now, I didn't mean to cry today, but I cried, right? Now, it wasn't like, it was more like, okay, I'm emotional. And it's funny because, see, the channel is always going to be about me and my growth, right? But I think for growth, I think you need to start at the very beginning. We have a Marquis de Méricourt. Who doesn't have wine and ramen? Not me. Now, technically, this is non-alcoholic wine, so if you were to report this for alcoholic wine, you had to prove that this is alcoholic, right? Good luck, because this brand was bought because they have a non-alcoholic version, which is this one, of course. So I do a lot of thinking, right? And I do a lot of planning, and I do a lot of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. So a project, when you start a project, usually speaking, this is future tense. Because you start a project and the project doesn't matter if it starts in 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. You get the point. You need to add a 6 days to figure out understand. Okay, sometimes it takes 6 days, right? But it's future. Even if your project starts, right? Right now it's what time? It's 7:08, right? I mean, if your project starts at 7:08 and it finishes at 7:09, right? It's still in the future. So you spend a lot of time about thinking about the future. Take a lot of time about thinking about the present. And it's funny because, listen, I made so many videos that I don't really know everything I talk about, right? But I do talk about my past quite a lot. However, it is very rare that I mention time before this apartment. And the reason why I think is because I started being myself when I moved in this apartment. This is so fucking spicy. I'm gonna use the poop shoot quite a lot today. Really good though. So, but then I bought these cookie again. Not a sponsor, but could be. And I was like, I started talking about why they were so important and memories as a kid. So I start tearing up, and I realized that I have very few memories to when I was a kid. Now, for the reasoning of that is super simple. As a kid, all I thought about was comics, anime, video games, right? Now, don't really make memories doing that. I'm constantly in here versus being out of here. And it pushed out a lot of past experience, right? So when you hear me talking, I'm always saying, hey, I'm lacking experience, I could have done this, I could have done more, and then live it up when I was little. But both of these were from an inner experience versus an outer experience. I'm seeing a movie. We're watching a movie, right? I'm with a girl. It's a romantic movie, right? And for some reason, she preferred it's a rom-com. So, for example, Sarah Marshall, she's amazing. By the way, they don't make a rom-com anymore. I don't know why. I miss it. So we're watching a movie, and I'm more so interpreting the comedic aspect of the movie, and she's more so kind of interested in the romantic, right? We have a different perception. And now you can say, oh well, and it's not because she's a woman. I could be more interested in the romantic. But we see the same movie, but we act to it in different manners. So a lot of people will stop at this. Will stop at saying we saw the same movie, we're reacting differently. And that's cool. But there's a reason to as why you're reacting differently, which is also important. But there's something that is trumps it. That is way more important, and that thing is actually kind of simple. It takes you to think about it, but it's actually quite simple. If my experience watching a movie, right? My experience watching a movie was different than yours, then the memory that I have of it is different. My perception is different. So the memory based on perception is going to be different. You see? Same thing. Same movie. Completely opposite. Think about a pyramid. Think about a tree. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. My apologies. And what I find fascinating with that is, I often think about the fact that I didn't allow myself to live as a kid, right? And that's why I don't have memories. But what if those memories were repressed, you know? Is it normal that I start tearing up because of cookies? No. The reason I started tearing up was because I remember how shitty I was with my parents. How my mom sacrificed everything, and I wasn't grateful. I wasn't... See? I wasn't grateful for it. A lot of people would say, oh yeah, your mom spoiled you, which is true. She spoiled the shit out of me. The reason I wasn't grateful wasn't for that. The reason why I wasn't grateful is because I have two exact different life. And even then, one of the suffers I was crying about today was my mom. She would eat bread because she could only afford bread if she was buying me fried chicken, and I love fried chicken. She was sacrificing everything for me. Now, as an adult, I started to think, right? I started to think, and I was like, yeah, but what I'm saying is going to be horrible, but I still believe in it. I started to think, I didn't ask for this to happen, right? I didn't ask my mom to do that for me, but she did, right? Life comes full circle, right? A week ago, we're what today? We're Sunday. Last Wednesday, I wasn't doing well. I was feeling overwhelmed by life, you know? Seriously. Holy shit. See? I'm not expecting some people to be there for me. I was surprised by the fact that this complete stranger did something for me. Help me out. A person I haven't talked to in months and months and months and months came to me. DZ. I was like, yo, you doing good, bro? Complete stranger came to me. And I told you guys about a stranger I left comment on, and she went, "Yo, you really helped me out," you know, and in this exact same situation, you have three things, you know, because you could say like I didn't ask anybody. I did ask them. I couldn't ask them. I didn't know them. But I didn't ask them to have my back. Instead, I was getting negative comments, right? And I got a couple of guys, a couple of people having my back, right? Which I'm super grateful for. But two out of the four people that have my back were complete stranger. And although it's very nice, I didn't ask them to do so. So I was like, holy shit, dude, this is extremely lucky. So although I didn't ask my mom to do so, did it mean that I shouldn't be grateful for, right? And then there's my father, because again, my father and my mom were constantly important to me. See, they were so different. As a kid, I think you take more inspiration from one person than the others, right? And for me, it's definitely my father. Not because my mom wasn't a great role model, but because I was spending time at my father's 12 days out of 14, so my mom would see me 4 days per month. But in the most fucked up way, they were so fucking different. My mom was always about being kind and helping others and being caring about the others, you know? And my father was more so like, yo, life is tough, get tougher, you know? My mom was like, no. See, if you look at the core of it, it was so simple. My father was more a guy of get tougher, the world will be yours, right? The world will be yours. The world would be like, you'll survive if you're tougher. My mom was like, no. Be kind to people. Have friends. Surround yourself with people, right? And then I'm in the middle and I don't know what to do with them. I'm a fucking kid, right? So I blocked it off a lot, right? And that's possibly why I don't have a lot of memories as a kid. But I was kind of scared today. Because when I ate the cookie and I started getting emotional about telling a story about my childhood, I was like, there's no reason for me to be emotional, right? And maybe that's stuff that I repressed. I don't know. I feel like I've been so focused lately, and I think we're all guilty of that. We're so focused on the future, on the present, and where life will take us that we forget where we came from. And it's funny because we talk about the past, right? But the past we remember last couple of years, 10 years ago. We don't remember this childhood, right? But the very foundation of the building of the tower that you are is childhood, right? Childhood is where you learn value. Childhood is when you learn how to treat people. If you're a good kid, most of the time you're going to be a good adult. And if you're a shitty kid, most of the time you're going to be a shitty adult, right? So, I saw that and I was like, why am I reacting in this fashion? Why does it affect me this much? Why am I the way I am? Right? And ultimately speaking, it was good to feel this emotion, but there's, and maybe this is weird, but this emotion needed to be felt, but this emotion also needs to be analyzed. And that was always my mom tried to take me to shrinks, but I never was open-minded to it. And maybe that's a mistake that I made. It's weird. You go to a doctor, you have a broken arm. First thoughts, hospital. Broken finger. First thoughts, hospital. Something hurts, you don't know what it is. Right? You're fucking depressed, you're crying, you cannot live. You cannot survive because you're so fucking depressed. What is your one recourse? What is your one recourse? Shrink. How long is it before you go see a shrink? Right? How long it is before you put yourself in a psych ward? How long before you visit a 5150? Seriously. That's weird. And I was feeling this emotion, and again, I think what's important here is to look at what. And the reason why I'm making this video is a weird one, you know? It's a very weird one. I cried. Big fucking deal. That's... okay. Shit, resume. So you see, Talk about how shitty of a kid I was. How grateful that I was. I had his father. Wasn't a good cook, but still busted his ass in the kitchen to cook. Because, see, it's so weird. I made this video a month ago. Really delicious. You see, I made a video last month about how the years in my apartment, some of the most formative year of my life, right? But that's not necessarily true. It was a single year my father and me. Only me and my father. My father and my mom, I can proudly say they're good parents. I made a video about it. You see, it's kind of crazy because you look at the channel, right? And you look at 27,000 video. I'm like, oh, okay. And then you realize that, go in subject and talk about this, I talk about that. So you think you're so far from enlightenment, but you're actually closer than you think. Now, enlightenment in this case is emotional enlightenment, which is 21 years old, which is a bit late, but hey, we'll take it, right? And the year with my father that was really tough. Listen, I love my father, but my father was this very close person. This whole year, my father was this very strict. I was afraid of him. I was afraid of getting punished by him. I was in emotional prison. I was in a position where if I did anything and everything, I was gonna get punished. So I didn't do nothing, and I stayed here. And here, nobody would give me shit, right? But my father was doing his best. He was raising a kid, and I wasn't an easy kid. My mom, she tried her best. But my mom, you know what? My mom, with all due respect, my mom was very loved. And people will do a lot for her. She had a problem. She had people that would take care of me, right? And I don't know, man. I don't know, because my father had nobody, right? Now, my father, and I said it's in this very video, my father was more so a man of get tougher. The world's a tough place. Get tougher. And I think it's very masculine to take that, right? Get tougher. And I agree with that. But as a kid, when I was 6 years old, when they divorced, maybe it was too young, maybe it was too old, you know? And my father, I remember, sitting in the same house as the man who raised me. Now, I'll be completely honest, my father and I relationship as a kid, not great. We didn't have a lot in common. My father pushed me to do some things, pushed me to have some interests that I didn't have. When I came to the apartment, I started working. My father really changed. Because we talk about work, we talk about the apartment, we talk about problem, we talk about problem that could help, right? It wasn't emotional, it was factual, it was work, apartment, money, right? And we really got along, you know? It wasn't always like that. So for a year I spent with my father and I wasn't talking. That year was difficult because I was living with a man that I didn't know, you know? I was living with a man that I didn't know that I loved, and I loved him. I knew he was a good person. I knew he was a person that could be a role model, but I didn't know him. You know? And I remember I was tearing up because I treated my mom like shit a lot. But my mom, she's more understanding. She'll be like, hey, why did you act like that? My father is like me. You act like that, fuck you, you know? And that's not the way to go. Then my mom, she'll tell you, hey, but you act like this, she'll forgive you. People will betray her again, and then she's not gonna ask, why did you do this? She doesn't care because that's 2 times now, you know? So one time you're like, why did you forgive me the first time, right? I remember my father not being good at cooking and cooking for hours just for me to be like, can we eat something that you didn't cook? Because he wasn't a great cook. He wasn't. Now, was this food disgusting? No. But I was a spoiled child. I was a really spoiled child. My father was working a lot. At the age of 4 or 5, I would stay alone at the house, right? Now, when I say I would stay alone, I wouldn't stay for fucking nights alone. I wasn't alone. I would stay for a couple hours. I would go back from school. The school was close to my house. And my father would come at 6 or 7 and we'd eat. But the fun thing was my father... I would come from work. I would come from school. I would eat fucking cereal. Because those cereal was good. They were cereals, shit like that, you know? A bit sweet. And then my father, when he would come, I would tell him, he would ask me, how hungry are you? And I would say, I'm not that hungry. And then instead of asking a question, he would say, oh, this is the medication. Because I was taking medication for ADHD that would make me very hungry. That wouldn't make me hungry. I basically didn't eat, right? So the cereal was a meal, and it was fun. But there was a time where we had to eat his food, and he was a huge fan of ham and potato. And well, I told this story before, but my father was more so. I'm not gonna eat because I want to enjoy something. I'm gonna eat because I need to eat. I'm not gonna eat because I want to have fun. I'm gonna eat because it's time to eat. There's no, hey, I'm hungry, I should eat something. No. It's time. Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Let's go eat. And he would do ham and potato. And I remember those potatoes not tasting anything. And I remember that being okay, good. The first time, the first week, the first month, not the first year. But he was trying. And I remember, that's why I teared up. And I remember telling my father, because he wasn't a great cook, once a week, we would take Campbell, shout out to Campbell, cream of chicken. My father's name is Réjean. My name is Stéphane. And I would call this soup the Réfan soup, It was my favorite meal. It was super good. With a fucking shit ton of salt, right? Respectfully, it was my favorite meal. My father would cook a chicken. He would cook a chicken and rice, and he made some good rice. And the chicken was just cooking the chicken, putting some soup of onion on top of it. I remember being 7, 8 years old, taking the chicken out of the freezer, the congélateur, which is in French, and putting it in the sink, because I knew that if I did it, it was like, oh my god, guess what? We have to eat it, I don't know. I have no fucking clue. I was also living with a man that didn't have any interests similar to mine. Now, should you have interest which is there's interest with a father and a son. I'm talking about father and son because it's a special bond. Every man you meet, every single fucking man you meet, when you ask them, want a boy or a girl, they tell you boy. Every man that you'll meet, they have a dog. Guess what the dog is? A male or a female? Manhood. Brothership, a brotherhood. Right? Some people get so mad when the word bro is used. Oh, it's douchey. But there's something sacred about the word bro. There's something sacred about the word father, son, brother. My mom was a lovely woman. My mom was an extremely lovely woman. But when I look at my mom, as an adult, I can honestly say I want to mimic my mom. the person she is. I wanna emulate her. I wanna be like her. I wanna be loved like her. But I also wanna be as kind as her because she's super kind, right? As a kid, and I'm sorry, my mom's gonna watch this. I'm super sorry. There wasn't once, right, where as a kid I said I want to look like my mom because she was a woman, right? I don't know. And then again, with a repressed memory, with a repressed, memory is a good word. Was there a time where I was told, "You're a man, you have to act like a man"? Probably. Probably, of course. My saying, "You're a man now." Such a funny thing to say. You're a man now. Right? You're a man, start acting like one. The fuck does that mean? You should know you're a man. Okay. I was young. Didn't know better. See? Stuff. Because you add those memories and you gotta change them. I think what gets you emotional is not necessarily the fact that you had those memories, it's because you're powerless to them. Those are events that happen in your life. Those are things that you did that you're not proud of. I'm ashamed that I told my dad, "Can we eat something else?" Motherfucker is my father, right? Took a couple of hours to cook a meal. Couldn't care less. My mom, eating bread so I can eat chicken. Couldn't care less. Thank you for the chicken. You know? Then, I always talk about my favorite movie. Favorite movie being Fight Club. And Fight Club is a movie about masculinity, about a generation raised by children, a generation raised by a woman. And how it affects young men, you know? And I was that generation. My father, God bless him, would leave. I remember, that's a bit harder now. It is a bit harder. I remember the summer. I was 8, 9, and I remember. And you see, this is the perfect example as to how different it was. My father, 8 years old. You're gonna be alone today. He's going to work. Right? Didn't matter what I was doing. I was on the computer playing fucking games. I was living the fucking life. I was eating cereal the whole day, watching my shows because there were some good shows. You know why there were some good shows, right? You know why? Because I was in a generation raised by TV. The first generation where there was channel for kids. YTV, Cartoon Network, Teletoon, right? And I would spend days upon days upon days upon days upon days. What was it? Battle Network, something like that. A website. I don't remember it, but Battle Netground. I think it was something like that. Right? A lot of flash game. A lot of flash game, and in multiple ways. In multiple ways, I saw that then. I was like, hell yeah. And my mom was the complete opposite. My mom put me in a summer camp. My mom, summer camp was the most important thing. The maximum age for summer camp was 12, right? Then she found a summer camp where the maximum age was 16, right? And until 16, the summer camp. And then at 17, when I wasn't supposed to go to summer camp, I went to the summer camp. I remember that. And you look at that and you're like, okay, so different. It's two very different. And then you ask yourself, who was right? You know? And then I don't care who was right. I love them both. You know? I was a shitty little kid. I was a shitty kid that escaped. You know? I think that's why. I started this video by saying how important it was to have this idea of where you come from. Even geographically speaking, right? It's weird. You have this city that you're born in. That's where you came from, and that's so important to you. We're all different people. that we talk about the city and we represent. All right. That's part of your roots. Is where I came from. I came from a coastal town. I came from a town that's very, very calm. So a lot of the time where I'm overwhelmed, I'm looking for that quiet place, you know. But all this to say, I'm kind of happy. The video isn't important, right? This whole mukbang isn't important. What's important was today I felt an emotion about the past. I don't know why I felt it. I have a good idea. It was shame. It was guilt. Those are the emotion that led you to have this feeling, right? Negative feeling, negative reaction, negative emotion, right? It was good. It was good because possibly something that I repressed. But at the same time, you're like, I don't know if you know that something is missing. Then you're looking for what else is missing. It's also a question of why did you repress those feelings, right? That's also important. Did you repress those feelings because it didn't matter? You look at romantically speaking, emotionally speaking, your first girlfriend, which is important, right? Second girlfriend, nobody's remembering the second girlfriend, right? Third girlfriend, you'll remember the first and the last girlfriend you had, right? And your first time with the first woman that you remember. And then you realize that you don't remember the second one because it wasn't as important. It was important, but it wasn't as important as the first one. You know? But those feeling repressed because was those emotion repressed because they didn't matter? You know? You ask yourself those questions. You ask yourself, why don't I remember shit from my childhood? The worst thing is we didn't have a lot of picture. If you're gonna find a picture of me when I was a kid, it's very rare. My mom moved a lot. She lost it. It's okay, it happens, right? Who cares about fucking pictures? And you ask yourself, why am I repressing those feelings? Why am I repressing those emotions, right? And you realize it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why did you repress those feelings, because if they were repressed, it don't matter, right? If something didn't need to be remembered, why try to remember it? But what if those things that you don't remember were the thing that allowed you to understand where you came from? And by understanding where you came from, you understand where you're going. See, the question is always, I had a very, very eye-opening moments yesterday. I did my 2 weeks. Yesterday, our last Friday is the first week, and I still have 1 week to do before we're officially done with the thing. And even then, my mom says it's a good thing that you did the 2 weeks. I was like, why did you give the 2 weeks? Fuck that, right? But that's not important. So I got a week to figure out what's next, right? And then I was thinking, I found a governmental program, right? Because my mom put out forward the solution of going back to school. And my father, the craziest thing is my father asked me, I think it was like in August? I don't remember. But he told me to find a class, right? And he was giving me a course, but didn't really care about them. And my mom, she put forward the idea for photography. And I was really excited for it, you know? Really excited for it. And, you know, it's fun because I found a governmental program that would help me financially with that. Right? And I was like, okay, that's a good idea. And then I was like, okay, this is the next step. And I get to these ideas. I start this project, right? Then I realized the class started in February. We're December. I don't want to wait another 3 months, right? In a perfect world, I find a job in between, but if I find a good job, I'm not going to go to school. I'm going to continue with that job, right? So then you're like, okay, fuck. And then my father asked me the question yesterday. Like, what you want to do? But I think I want to do it. I'm interested in that. Is that really what I want to do? And I've always had this knowledge of wanting to do something. And then I didn't know what it was. So then I started making videos. And I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. But after 3 years of it being a hobby, starting to feel like it is a hobby. It is. I'm still passionate. Still, there's still a lot of determination. You're still a willing to do anything and everything to get there. But more so, you start to not doubt but wonder. You're asking a question, and you realize those questions you didn't ask any question in fucking years, right? And yesterday was the day I realized I don't know what I want to do, right? And it's weird because yesterday was an absence of a idea about the future, and then today was a reminiscence of the past. You know, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Life is such a fucked up thing. Very, very young, I understood that. Well, it's not my fault. I was small, wasn't pretty. My brain was the only thing that I had. Call me Tyrion. And see, Tyrion was a small guy that had to change his mind because he didn't have a choice. Very young, I understood the brain was the way to go. The brain is a wonderful thing, and you don't even know about it. Yesterday, there was a creation of a lack or a need for a future. So the brain did the only thing that he knows what to do. I don't know about the future. I don't know about the present, but I do know about the past. So when it combines out its need with a feeling from the past, which created nostalgia, which created a reminiscence. And that reminiscence pushes you once again to think, okay, maybe if I know where I came from, I don't know where I'm going. But that is, of course, if you think that life is a linear path. Well, I started at A, I know I have to get to B. This is the path that I've been taking, let's continue on that path, right? What if the path has forks? What if the path is twisted? What if the path is under construction? And there's a detour. The fuck do you do then? I don't know. There's definitely fears. But I'm well surrounded. I got people that cares about me. I got people that love me. I'm well surrounded. Got amazing parents. Christmas is coming soon. Christmas. Respectfully, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy... there's another one. Oh yeah, fucking Merry Christmas. We're celebrating Christmas. That is all that matters. I'm excited, you know? Then in January, it's a new year. My birthday is the 22nd. And there's a power. There's really a power in having your birthday in the beginning of the year. It's like, okay, well, the year starts, you know that you're a couple of weeks away from the next year in your life. Right? And then you have a fucked up video about Eddie Murphy that comes to you. It's a short. And he said 75 winter, 75 fall, 75 summer, 75 spring. That's all you get if you're lucky. And then because you're curious, you do the math, right? You do the math. What is 1 out of 75, right? 125. Every single year, it's 1.25% of your life. That's crazy. 31. I don't know if you're good at math, but that is 45% of my life. So yeah. Anyway, long enough video. Thank you for watching this. So if it was a negative, it wasn't supposed to be negative. It's not meant to be negative. I had a negative emotion, but understanding negative emotion is understanding how to fix it. Your brain is like that too. You're gonna burn yourself. Your brain's like, don't fucking touch fire. You're gonna burn yourself again. You cut yourself. Be careful around knife, right? it's cold outside. At first, like, they start wearing a coat because you realize it's cold outside, you know? Your brain is like that. If the brain is able to tell you a physical response to pain and is able to... It's a reason for us to move forward, right? If I can do that physically, I can do that emotionally. Anyway, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.